Beijing, China's capital city. It's known for its rich cultural history and its remarkable sights. But what is it like to be in one of the most well-known cities on Earth? I recently traveled across China in my first solo trip, deciding at the last second to document it in this series of videos. While Beijing is home to the famous Great Wall, that is just the beginning of what it has to offer. I only had a limited time in the city, but I still wanted to fit in as many different experiences as possible. My friend and I brainstormed an ultimate mission list covering food and culture, history and modernity, touristy and unknown. While it may have been ambitious, it seemed only fitting for such a notable destination. But whether our goal was successful is something you'll have to find out in this episode from our month in China. We have landed in Beijing. Yanming actually did something quite interesting and let me be in charge of the train routes. I'm happy to report that I guided us through the correct route. The trains and everything were noticeably more busy, but that's to be expected. We're just gonna take a little breather and then figure out what we're doing for the first night. I'm out in Beijing. The first place we have decided to come to is the 798 Art District. I'm going to just explore these areas right here and capture as much as I can. The 798 Art District is a zone dedicated to art, including exhibitions, sculptures, and stores. It's been built around decommissioned military factories, which were transformed into a site for contemporary art in the early 2000s. As you walk through the district, you see how it combines colorful and unique art pieces with the extremely industrial environment to make for a really interesting contrast. I found out about the 798 because I was looking to visit something that I had never heard of before, as well as something that offered me a different experience to the other plans for my time in Beijing. Okay, as you can see, it's dark now. We just finished up. I can just imagine some what a vibe it would be walking around here. But even now, it was really cool. But I'm very excited. We're on our way to go and try a special Beijing food. Okay, we are here to try Peking duck, which I've heard a lot about and Beijing is apparently famous for. So we got that and we got a meal deal of a lot of traditional foods.
It includes a lot of things, a lot of very traditional Beijing dishes, and the price is very good. So I think we could to experience a different flavor, including like Beijing 烤鸭, Peking roasted duck.
So I'm keen to try that. As I finished that video, the starters arrived, and I soon realized that Yanming was underselling how big this meal deal really was. This was way bigger than I thought. Like every time I put the phone down, more things keep arriving. What? But eventually, the main dish arrived. The main attraction has arrived. the Peking duck. Yanming's gonna show the proper way to eat this.
So firstly, just choose 1 or 2 duck meat. Maybe 3. So this, add some spring onion
In the sauce, of
and
course.
the cucumber, basically. Just a deep.
I've had like 4 of those. I'm about to get more. We put up a pretty good fight against the massive meal, but it did get to a point where I had to call it. You'll notice a couple of plates are gone. The desserts are untouched. Yanming is still going strong. I am absolutely defeated. I don't know how, but we managed to clear a decent amount of it off. I was under the impression this was like half the size. This was for 3 people. It was very tasty, very delicious. Yeah, I don't know how we're gonna walk to the next place. After we left, very satisfied by the delicious but sizable meal, we made our way to one last stop for the night, a famous nearby shopping district called Taikoo, Sanlitun. Okay, I'm still processing the insanely massive meal that we just had. Look at the kind of place that we are in right now. We spent a while walking around Taikoo, but soon we went home because it was getting pretty cold. But tomorrow, it was time for a major highlight of the entire trip. Today is one of the things I've been most excited to do, obviously, and we are on our way to see the Great Wall of China. Yeah, this is something I've actually wanted to see for quite a long time in my life, so it's kind of unreal to me that we're doing that today, as well as a couple of other things, but I'm so looking forward to seeing this. For formality's sake, the Great Wall of China is a series of fortifications located towards the northern border. It was continuously built from the 3rd century BC to the 17th century AD and is one of the 7 wonders of the world. At a total length of over 20,000 kilometers, we would only be visiting a single section, Badeling. This is the most famous and the best restored part of the wall. We're at the Great Wall now. We saw glimpses of some of the sections driving in, and it was so surreal, but it's super full obviously, so we're just waiting here for our tour guide to get the tickets, and then we'll be going up. And with that, we are officially on the Great Wall of China. What? This is crazy, bro. Like, obviously, it's great and it's big, but like, I can't even describe it. Bro, look at the distance. Just to state the obvious, it just like keeps going. Like, everywhere you look, it just extends endlessly into the distance on either way. Wow, this is crazy. A lot of people ask me what it felt like being on the Great Wall of China. Naturally, right? But it's a surprisingly difficult thing to answer. Even in these clips, I don't really say that much, and it's because I didn't really know what to say, or even really what to feel. To be witnessing something with such an extensive past and legacy, something so much larger than yourself, it's quite an astounding experience. It's this inexplainable phenomenon that I don't think I could even process when I was on it. I tried my best to observe every aspect of it, but it was so strangely euphoric and existential. It almost felt like it wasn't happening. Genuinely, I could spend a whole day here. This is unbelievable. The Great Wall. That's a long time bucket list item checked off. Wow. And in what felt like an instant, we were leaving the Great Wall. It almost felt wrong not to walk along it until my legs gave in. Looking at the way it wrapped over the endless mountains, the distance we covered literally felt like nothing. But nevertheless, it was time to go to the next location. Our next stop was the Summer Palace, a massive pavilion featuring palaces, gardens, hills, and lakes. It was built by the Chinese Empress Qi as a destination of quiet retreat, years after the old Summer Palace was destroyed. The scenic area houses features like Kunming Lake and Longevity Hill. However, it was certainly not quiet when we visited. Clearly the New Year rush is more present here. My phone is also dying, so you'll probably just see a montage. We're at the end of the tour today, and we just came from Summer Palace. I didn't record much because my phone was in a red zone, but we are now at Olympic Park. I was hoping to come here at night, but because the bus stopped here, I thought might as well. This is the last stop for the day. I'm not sure what else I'll do. So we just got a little bit of an introduction to the stadium. It's called the Bird's Nest. It looks pretty insane. Like, I can't believe what I'm looking at. However, we've also happened to come across a sandstorm, which is the first one I've encountered here. And generally, I'm going to show you in a second in front of me, but it literally looks like I'm on a movie set right now. Like, so this is the Bird's Nest Stadium, the National Olympic Stadium, and look I mean, the sun. That is literally the most apocalyptic thing I've ever seen. Everyone's like mosques are up. I'm not gonna stay around for too long. Okay, I'm almost tempted to come back tomorrow in the evening to see them like all lit up and all that stuff. But anyways, let me show you a bit more around Olympic Park and then get home. I unfortunately did not get to explore the Olympic Park in the most ideal conditions. However, I still managed to walk around and see most of the surrounding statues and buildings. In one of the previous clips, I mentioned that at night the two stadiums light up, but due to my phone dying and the sandstorm, I didn't stay around long enough to see it in person. Despite this, I thought it was such a cool place to visit, and I couldn't stop thinking about what it must have been like in 2008. Okay, I'm out of the dust, back home after my first fully solo train and bus ride. Yanming, I hope you're very proud of me. Both the Great Wall and Summit Palace are just two monumental exhibitions of China's deep history. It's really quite commendable seeing how festive these historical sites really are, even hundreds or thousands of years later. I don't think I'm actually going to go anywhere for the rest of the evening. I think I'm going to just plan out tomorrow. Beijing Day 2 was incredible. I think seeing the historical side after seeing a bit of the modern side was a really cool dynamic. And we'll see what I fill Day 3 with. Hello, it's been a while. It's present day Zach again. If you're wondering why the episode is coming to an end, even though I'm speaking about Day 3, that is what I'm here to explain. As I continued filming, I did get more and more comfortable, and as a result, I have exponentially more footage with every city that I go to. On one hand, it's awesome because I have more to share, more to work with, and more story to tell. But on the other hand, it does mean that the episodes end up being a bit longer, and also the gaps between their release. So, to speed up the process of getting this episode out, and also to make it a bit easier to watch, I decided to split it up. Those first 2 days in Beijing were incredible, but the chapter on my story in China alone is just beginning. Thank you so much to everyone who's been tuning in. I really appreciate the comments and the messages and everything like that, so I can't wait to share more with you. I have a good feeling it was the right place.